I'm John Rhys Davis, and you're listening to Bring Me Your Torch with Jesse and Elaine.
Welcome to another episode of Bring Me Your Torch. I'm Jesse.
And I'm stuck in traffic.
It's okay. We spoke to Anika from Real World Bad Blood tonight. And yes, you're stuck in traffic, but you got here in time before it ended. So if you're listening to us right now, it's going to start off with just me. But hey, I'm wonderful. And then Elaine will pop up in the middle and make it double wonderful.
Definitely. And I'll be right there in the middle. And Anika, by the way, is great. So let's get into the interview.
Let's do it. On the phone, we have one of the stars of the Real World Bad Blood, and according to me, a future multimedia maven, Anika. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Before we get going, one of the questions we always like to ask, first of all, is who are you? Who is Anika? What is your life like when we're not seeing you on TV?
Well, Anika is a 25-year-old New York City girl to the heart, who is an entrepreneur who has her own brand, Ask Anika, AskAnika.com, who is just very loving, likes to have fun, and, likes to try new things. And honestly, that's why I'm actually moving to LA within the next month or so. So I just love traveling, I love food, and I love living life. So that's the Anika that I guess is not shown in the real world that much, but that's the real Anika.
Well, if you're moving to LA, where are you from now, or where are you from originally?
Well, originally I'm from actually New York City, and I'm moving to LA because I want to do more work in the entertainment industry. I actually want to turn my brand into a talk show, so I kind of want to be where the business is, if that's what they say. So that's why I'm making that big move to LA. So I'll be in the main area, LA area, around like West Hollywood. So if anyone sees me out, don't be shy to say hi.
You're a big enough deal right now, but years from now, when you're the biggest thing going, I'll be able to tell people that I knew you way back when.
Oh, well, I mean, there haven't been people that have reached out to me since I've had these opportunities, but for the most part, I have a pretty solid circle around me. So everyone who has been there before is here now. So I'm happy to say that my circle is still the same.
Great. So how did you become involved in the real world? Did you look to be on a reality show, or did this particular situation come up and you just couldn't pass it up? How did you end up on our screens every Wednesday night?
Well, it actually started because I knew that I wanted to have a big change, and I didn't know how I was going to make that change. So my biggest idea was to randomly apply to the real world. So I went to MTV.com, and I did a long tedious application process. And then from there, they actually sent me an email and told me to come in for an open casting call. So I did, and I actually thought it was going to be only about an hour of my time, but there were thousands and thousands of people waiting in line. And luckily, I didn't have to wait that long, but when I was seen, we had about 10 seconds to sell ourselves. And then from there, honestly, I kind of thought I had it in the bag.
It's funny. I've been actually in a couple of reality TV casting rooms, and you're right. They take about 10 seconds, answer this question, on to the next person, and you're in there. At least in my experience, with a bunch of people, and it's funny that people just don't think about it when they're walking in there. I sat down directly in the middle, faced them, made eye contact the entire time, and they gave me a call back to the second round. Unfortunately, my story was too boring to be on some of these shows.
Aww.
But
it's not boring. I mean, honestly, just even getting there is a big step.
Yeah, I figured I was one of 12 out of thousands that got called back for a second round, so that was enough for me. I'll take it. and it's funny when I see the real world these days, because I don't know, what was your relationship like with the real world before you were on there? Did you watch it all?
Well, the thing is I'm 25, so when I started watching it, I was watching it around real world Austin. So I remember Johanna and Wes, and then the Heather and Justin, and I still know the Nani too. So I definitely watched it in the past. So it was definitely something that I was wow, when I was in high school, I watched it. Now I'm out of high school, out of college, and now I'm on it. So it definitely had a weird, surreal experience that. So I always had a relationship with the real world, from the longest time. I never thought I was going to end up on the real world though.
Yeah, I date myself so much when I say this, that I first started watching with season 2 back in, I think it was 1993. They must have been replaying it after school, but I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
Suddenly I'm this old guy. I'm 35, but man, when I talk to people today, I'm like, man, when did I become the old man in the room? To me, I'm still young and ready to go.
It's okay, because sometimes I honestly feel a little bit of like, the old woman in the room, and that's like, that's even how I felt when I was on the show. I was a little bit, of like one of the older ones. So I was like, wow, like it's kind of weird. Or even like just talking about like, the older castmates that I remember. It's like you can tell it's a completely different generation than, some of the names that the younger cast members like they dropped. There is definitely an age gap there.
And you learn everything is relative. When I was 25, I thought 21-year-olds knew nothing. Then when I was 30, I thought 25-year-olds knew nothing. And when I'm going to be 40 or 50 or whatever, I'll think now that I'm 35, I know nothing. So it never stops.
It never stops, and I can definitely see that. But I think that's the fun thing, though, is because I definitely realize that, regardless of age, if you have, similar interests, you can definitely still, maintain a relationship. So, that was a nice little lesson I learned in the house as well.
So you got in the show, you moved in the house, but once everybody was in the house, I feel like it didn't take too long for everybody to know that there was some kind of twist coming on. How did you guys all figure out that there was some sort of twist that was going to happen?
Well, it's kind of funny because I feel like everyone always wonders, like, did you guys know there was a twist? Did you know there was a twist? And the thing is, like, we didn't know there was a twist, but we knew something was going to happen because just after we started, getting past the initial conversations of like who everybody was and where we were from and our, interests and things we were allergic to and all that type of stuff, it was more so like, how was your application process like? And then from then on, it was just like weirdly enough, we all started talking about it, and then we all said like, oh, hey, yeah, a person that we don't really talk to was contacted. So we actually all kind of like put the pieces together in our, by ourselves. But I definitely think that, the production had a good time watching us trying to figure it out because I think they definitely played a few tricks on us that we probably don't even know to this day.
And between social media and all the other reality shows, with all these different, I guess you'd call them all different twists, I think the biggest twist these days would be not to have a twist at all, but make you think one's coming because everybody assumes the other shoe is going to drop any moment.
So that was the big thing. So, I mean, for me, I kept on saying, we keep on thinking there's a twist, we keep on thinking there's a twist. Maybe because there have been so many seasons with a twist, maybe we're going to be the season without a twist, or maybe we're the twist over the last, season of the real world. Like we didn't know. Well, we knew that something had to happen. But, I mean, I did have a little bit of faith that maybe we were the season that was going to kind of bring it back to the 7 originals, but clearly, like, they decided not go in that direction.
Well, my goal is to get the real world going long enough that eventually all the people on the show are children from people who were already on the show. If you were on season 1 or 2 and you have kids,
that would be really crazy.
That would be the best. I swear it would be the best. So, and this season was crazy because there weren't just 7 of you. There were 14 people picked to live in a house.
14.
How do you deal with that many people? I mean, the mess must have been crazy. And my biggest problem, I mean, I thought about this with Big Brother as well, that the bathroom situation must be crazy with so many people in the house.
Well, let me tell you. So when it came to the cleaning situation, I mean, I was definitely one of the ones who was a little crazy when it came to that because we, of course, don't all have, the same living situations. Some of us live alone, some of us live with roommates, some of us live with our parents, some of us, don't. So, I mean, we all are at different parts of our lives and we're all different types of people. So we all have different, cleanliness habits. And you could see that in the house. So, some people would just kind of like leave like, floss and like, toothpicks everywhere. And then, some people would be cleaning the dishes every day. So it was definitely hard to manage the different personalities in the house for sure. And then with the bathroom situation, surprisingly, that worked out a lot better than you think that it would because we only had 2 showers and 4 sinks. And for some reason, I think because everyone, for the most part, girl-wise, got along, we were able to find a way to have 2 girls sharing a mirror or like, one girl would get ready and get dressed while another girl was doing her makeup. So we tried to find ways to make it work. And you realize when you're in those situations, you will find ways to make it work.
I just imagine I wouldn't go to the bathroom for about 3 months there, I think.
Well, but why? Because of the privacy?
Yeah, privacy. I mean, I like to do my business in private. I'll admit it.
And that's how I felt in the beginning because I was like, wow, I'm going to end up getting sick because I don't even feel comfortable, like, going to the bathroom. But, it's really weird how comfortable you get when you're just in the same situation day after day. I never thought I would get used to the cameras. I never thought I would get used to seeing them, in my face when I wake up in the morning, or just having them posted everywhere, or even, following us outside and having people gawk at us. But you really do get used to it. You get used to it so much that when it was over, I was so used to it that I thought real life was like weird. It was crazy.
So all this happens, the twist goes down, and the bad bloods, I guess is what people call them, show up in the house, and yours was your ex-boyfriend, Will. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with them and what where the bad blood stemmed, I guess, from you guys?
Yeah, so Will is my ex-boyfriend. We dated for 3 years, over 3 years ago, so it was an old relationship. I was very young. I just graduated college, and it's been over, like 3 years ago. And during the process of us dating, he got really close to my family, and he became really close friends with my brother. And then when me and him decided to break up, he decided to still maintain a friendship with my brother. So it was hard for me to bring guys home because he was still around. And then I told my brother that, so then he kind of cut off that friendship with Will. And I think Will kind of felt very hurt by it and a little bitter, so he kind of just cut me off in a very rude way, and same thing with my brother. And then the next time I saw him, he actually was in the werewolf house, so it was kind of awkward because we have not spoken since that fight.
And looking back, is it hard to believe you dated a guy who goes by Willie from Philly?
That's always been his name, and I thought it was funny then. I think it's funny now. I don't take it seriously. I mean, he may take it seriously. But I mean, everyone has their little names. I mean, Maserati, he has his too. So I kind of let everyone rock with theirs. I have mine. I have my ass to keep it. No one makes fun of me, so I try to keep it low in the jokes for them.
Great. And actually, if you don't mind, my co-host is able actually to make it on. Do you mind if I connect her in really quickly for the rest of the interview?
Of course.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
No worries at all. I'm just happy you were able to make it.
Thank you. How you doing, Anika?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Not too bad. Just sitting in some traffic here in Austin, Texas. It's always fun.
Oh, well, you're in Austin, because I always hear when you're in Austin, you're going to have a good time. So.
Oh yeah, we party a lot here, to say the least.
I need to make a trip there soon.
Definitely. Have you been here before?
I do have family in Texas, on my dad's side, so in I think it's Waco and in Dallas, Texas, and I have a friend from Austin, but I have not personally ever been out in Austin. But I heard that the food is good. I heard that the night scene is good, so that trip is going to definitely be made soon.
Oh, good. Awesome. All right, now are you guys, have you talked about Mike yet?
No, I'm leaving that to you right now.
Okay, so I'll just jump right in here with the Mike question. Well, we spoke to Mike the other day, and how are your feelings on the whole situation since it aired? It was pretty intense.
Yes. There's a lot of feelings towards that. I mean, there's so many things to consider with the situation. From my personal perspective, I did have a goodbye tape to Mike. They did not air that. But mine basically said, Mike, I am very disappointed in, what you said. And, I don't agree with what you said. And I hope that you understand what you said was wrong. But I don't think that you're a racist, and I don't think that you're a horrible person. I think that you're just, sometimes you're just dumb and ignorant. You just say things that you just say without thinking. I don't think he's a bad person. And, me and Mike have had, a very close relationship from the beginning of the show, even till now. So I'm just hoping that he learns from, all of this reflection that's basically staring at him in the face on TV. So, I mean, all we can do is hope that people are more enlightened after they see this type of situation.
When you see this kind of stuff, when you see this kind of stuff go down, there are two different ways it can happen. There is people saying the stuff in a hateful way and saying the stuff in a stupid way. And he struck me as being stupid when he was saying it, not being hateful, which, it's not good, but I guess it's the better of the two options if you had to pick.
Of course. And then I think that, the only people that can really, say how they meant to say it is Mike. But then, after that, it would be like Jordan and the rest of the people that were in the house, because we know him personally. So, of course, you have your people on social media and your fans who have their own opinions. And, you have to respect that people are human and they have their own opinions. But, you also have to understand that, TV is not, I'm not saying that they edited him a way that he wasn't, but they also don't give you the whole part of him. So, I do know that, yes, he did say something stupid, but I do know for a fact that it was him saying something stupid and not him saying something, nasty from his heart. So,
yeah. Did you watch?
Sometimes people make mistakes.
Did you have the opportunity to watch last season?
Oh, I did. I mean, I watched, I think I binge watched it as soon as I found out that I was going to be on the next season. So I was like, okay, let me see how the previous season was. He may do something like that. So then I binge watched the whole season. It was interesting. Definitely a lot different than a lot of the other seasons. A lot more political than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, because I know Jenna said some things that were kind of really screwed up. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but I mean, I guess it was. I didn't see Mike coming from a place like that.
No, and I think and again, I personally don't know her, Jenna, from that season, but the way that I portrayed, she was portrayed to me, was definitely someone who didn't really have that much care. And I think that Mike kind of realized he said something ignorant, and then he tried to fix it. And yes, he was embarrassed immediately. He wouldn't be, but then he acknowledged it. And he's now trying to move forward and be more enlightened. And I feel like she kind of just had an ignorant air about her, and she didn't really care to be told that she was wrong. So I think that was my issue with her. Anyone could be taken as someone who just says something stupid, but I think it's just the adult part of realizing it and moving forward. And I think she didn't care to notice that she was doing something ignorant, or that her friend was. So I think that was the issue that everyone had with her.
And I want to say she blew her shot. Being that we're such a big successful podcast, I was able to actually get her cell phone number, and I texted with her ever so briefly about her coming on the show, and if she wanted a chance to apologize, to explain herself, any of that. And she said she would, and then she just blew us off. So now people are left with what we saw on TV, and that's not necessarily a very good picture when we look at it.
Yeah, and and that's really bad, because the thing is when you are in spotlight and you are on a platform like MTV and Real World, that's why my main thing was to not go and start calling people, certain derogatory terms, or, start labeling people, because the thing is even though he just said something dumb, as soon as the racist word is thrown out there, as soon as the woman beater word is out there, it's just kind of it kind of sticks, even if that's not you. And the last thing I want to do is ruin the image of someone when I know that that's not who they are. So I really do hope that she eventually has the courage to speak up and state her case. But if not, then I guess that's her showing that, she just rather people look at her in the light that I guess MTV paid it for her.
Definitely. You're very accepting. I will say that. Because I'm not, I wouldn't be as tolerant.
I try to be. I try to pick my battles, because the thing is there's so many battles in the world, and it can make you crazy, and especially being in this line of work as well. So you try to realize that there's going to be ignorant people that you're going to bump into, and, not every single person you can change, and not every single person you can fight. And sometimes you got to ignore them. Sometimes you try to enlighten them, and sometimes you just say, who cares? Definitely. You just got to pick which one you want to do.
Sometimes you just got to walk away.
Exactly.
So moving on, I guess, I was going to say moving on to a happier subject, but this is still kind of a weird subject. Last week on the after show, they got into that whole side pieces conversation. Were random girls just constantly at the house, or were these guys all talk and no action? What was happening with all that? They made them think that these guys were just bringing home women left and right.
When it comes to that, I think it was a mixture of two. I think that, and I know that some of the guys are going to kill me for this, but I think that a lot of the game that they assumed that they had came from the fact that there were cameras around. So I think that, a lot of these females were just kind of smitten with the cameras, not with their, their lines and their swag. So sorry guys, but it is kind of is what it is. But, were there a lot of girls in the house? No, but there were some. But compared to the females, we never brought any guys home. That was definitely the guys' territory. They were the ones, if anything, who wanted to bring, a female home. So we more met them out, and they more wanted to bring them back. But I think they had a different itinerary than we did.
Let's be honest. I'm a man. We're all scumbags. That's why we brought the girls home. Women are much more classy than men, and I'll say this as a man.
Exactly. I know what we all know, like, and the girls do too. I mean, unfortunately, some of the females that did come back, they kind of are very vocal with, what they wanted when they want to come back. So, I mean, hey, that's kind of like what you get when, you have cameras on, when you go to clubs and stuff like that. And they loved it. So, I mean, that's why I just let the guys, do them because, I mean, it's not going to be exactly the same when they leave.
Definitely. Well, switching gears, let's talk about you a little bit. I've been on your website, askanika.com. Can you tell us a little bit about the site?
Oh, yes, and I'm so happy that you've been on it. It's always a work in progress, but it is basically, so long story short, I like to give advice, clearly. I look at myself as like a little mini Oprah in training. So I actually started the site as an advice column, and people would go on, they would submit questions, and I would help them answer it. And the questions would range from like, romance and relationships to family issues, anything. And then I realized I wanted to expand it, and then that's when I started making videos. And now I have a whole bunch of videos ranging from like, product reviews, restaurant reviews, travel tips, foodie articles, all that type of stuff, soon to becoming celebrity interviews as well. And then now I am actually trying to turn that into a talk show. So that's actually, the whole big momentum behind my move to LA as well.
I love
that's
it.
my big thank you. Thank you so much. So I feel like there's no one for our generation. There's no Oprah, there's no Ellen for our generation, no one our age that can actually like speak on a platform that gives us like, fun but useful and like, modern information, but like on a talk show host platform. So I want to basically do that for everyone. So hopefully that's something that, comes in the works within the next year.
Well, that's great. Yeah, we'll help and support you in any way we can. We'll have to tweet out your website and all of our platforms, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I think the key is to give away free things like Oprah and dance like Ellen, and then you'll be famous.
See, that's what it is. You people just want to be in the audience, don't you? So you can be there when I give away the card.
You can see right through us. I don't know how you do that.
I don't have money for the taxes, though.
You know what? And I completely forgot about that. So that's the secret way they get you. You think that you're getting the free things, and you really just walk out, and they're like, okay, sign the tax form.
Or you go on The Price is Right, and they go, here, you just won a new kitchen set, which you don't really need, and then you take it, and you have to pay taxes on that.
I need a hot tub.
It's like you want to be a millionaire, and if you finally get to the end, you really aren't a millionaire. So it's like it's just like you're walking away with probably like half of $1 million, but.
Just ask Richard Hatch from Survivor about that. Richard Hatch went to jail because he didn't pay taxes on that.
I mean, I wouldn't want to pay taxes either, but I mean, jail's not that nice either. So, I mean, if that was on the line, I probably would have to give up that money.
Well, can you give us I know we don't want to spoil anything. There's a new episode tonight, but can you give us a preview of what we might expect from the rest of the season?
Yes. So there are a few more people leaving this season, unfortunately, from different situations. We see a lot more relationships getting tighter while some, fall apart. And I guess to make it a little bit more specific, you see probably by the end of the season, there's definitely, I think we've had the most people that have went home in real world history, I think. Yeah, I think we have. So that should be interesting because if people go home in ways that you wouldn't think. It's not like every single person's fighting. It says, Mike decides to go home. Someone else has a different altercation. Someone else has a different altercation. So it's definitely very interesting. There's a little bit of a twist at the end. So I think that everyone will enjoy that too.
And that helps with the bathroom situation, right? Less people.
Oh, yes. Trust me, by the end, I had a pick of beds. I had a pick of the fridge. I had so much room in the fridge. I had a pick of bathrooms because there was barely anybody left.
It sounds like you were the most sane one in the house if everyone else was leaving.
People say that to me a lot, and I think I definitely had my crazy moments, but for some reason, I don't know why, but they've only, I guess, shown my one crazy moment when I've had coffee and I just went a little insane. But, when it comes to like lashing out on people, I think they've been pretty nice to me with my editing because, I mean, it happened a few times, but I don't want to speak on that too much because we don't really know what they're going to be showing within the last 4 episodes that we have to air.
Definitely. Well, we're really excited that you came on the show, and hopefully we can have you back on sometime. But before we wrap up, is there anything you want to plug?
Other than telling everyone to stay up to date with everything that I'm working on, you can follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter on at Anika Rashaun. You can also go to my website, www.askanika.com, where you can watch videos that are lifestyle based, and it's linked to all of my personal social media platforms as well. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing. I have Anika TV coming out in 2017, to keep up to date with that as well. And I would love to come back on your show when my next project comes out. I can't talk too much about that right now, but I would love to come and talk about that more when that comes out next year as well.
Great. We'll stay tuned for that.
Yay, great. I'm so excited, and I'm excited to come back.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to speak with you both. And I hope that you get through that Austin, Texas traffic as well.
Oh, my God. Yeah, next time I'll be on time for you. I promise, Anika.
No worries. That's my one thing that I've been trying to make myself work on too. That's my time management. So I may be the same one, but I'm always the one that's out the house at the last minute.
Oh, we wouldn't get along then. Elaine and I have gotten in many, many fights over being late.
Oh, Elaine, you're probably like me.
Yes, and I'm a project manager too, so you'd think I'd have good time management skills, but
that's how I feel. I work for myself, and I still feel like I don't know how to get to things on time, but it's a work in progress, and I'm sure that one day we'll see it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we may have started it off as a single, but we finished it off as a pair.
Yes, I really like her. Very well spoken. Nice young lady.
Yeah, and something tells me we'll be seeing her again sometime soon.
Definitely.
Well, if you liked this podcast, remember you can go to our website at www.bringmeyourtorch.com. But where else can you go?
Facebook.com/bringmeyourtorch or Twitter.com/bringmeyourtorch without the H.
No H? You can go to iHeartRadio, and iHeartRadio, we're there. You can go to iTunes, where you can give us 5 stars, or heck, someone gave us 4 stars the other day. I'll take that too, as long as you leave a wonderful review about how we're so special. You can go to Blueberry or Stitcher if you have a Android. Basically, I was bored the other day at work. If my boss is listening, please don't hold it against me. I was just Googling Bring Me Your Torch. There are so many different sites for podcasts that I've never heard of, and we're on all of them. So
we're on all of them just by default. I think we just
they must just suck it in from other areas or something.
Yep.
But we're everywhere. And then of course we're on YouTube, where we just had a video go over 22,000 views. So like I said, we're kind of a big deal.
I think it's 23 right now. So
if not, it's just about. So it's making us a couple pennies here or there, and click there yourself, make us a couple more. It'd be wonderful. But after you do all of that and you click on all of our links and go to all of our sites, just remember that you may have come here as a stranger, but you're leaving as a friend. We'll see you next time on Bring Me Your Torch.
Bye.